Okay, we're good.
Now it's time for our weekly speaker spot. Each week, one member gets 8 minutes to share with the group further insights to their business or to enlighten the group a little bit more about themselves. Members can also use this time to problem solve or seek assistance and advice from the group as a collective. The time is yours to use however you wish. This week, our speaker spot, I'll hand over to you, Misty, and your crown, your beautiful new red crown, for this part.
My Christmas crown. I had to find something I could travel with. All right. Today, I'm going to pick someone out of the group because I was actually waiting to see if they turned up. I did have a spare spot open due to traveling and all sorts of other things, and I wasn't sure who was coming after Easter. But Jeff, don't be too shocked when I pulled you out, but it's in regards to Toastmasters. I've got a bit of a structure as to how I'd like you to start off telling us about your Toastmasters group, and we will have questions in regards to that. Give me 2 seconds. I should be able to spotlight you somehow. Okay, maybe not. I don't know how this recording shows up at the other end, but let's go with this. So Jeff's gone. Hang on. Where did, oh, there he's got, there he's right at the top of my screen. Oh, thank goodness. All right, Jeff. So here's what I want you to do. So we know Jeff. Jeff's been with us for a long time. I met him over at HMP Australia. He's from Atlanta, Georgia, but I met him when I first started going to HMP Australia 4 years ago. And then from there, got him to come out here once. And then we've been networking buddies ever since. So Jeff's, like I said, he's over at Atlanta, Georgia, and he's in a Toastmasters group, which is an online Toastmasters group. For us in Australia, we're about to have a time zone change. So it's at 8:30 in the morning, based off from starting next week, on a Wednesday morning at 8:30. But I believe over in Georgia, it's 6:30 at night.
Correct.
On a Tuesday night. Yeah. So Jeff, here's what I want you to do. I want you to give us a quick elevator pitch on Toastmasters. So I want you to say what it is, like it's Toastmasters membership, and then how much that costs to join. And then I want you to tell us who joins, what type of person joins, and then I just want the history of you to how did you start? How did you join? How was it that you started? And then stop there after your quick history of you to Toastmasters, because we'll have plenty of questions to ask about Toastmasters, I am sure.
Well, okay, the first question I have here is, would everyone in the audience that has heard of Toastmasters please raise their hands? Okay. Most everyone, I guess. I thought, quite honestly, I thought it was a drinking club when I first heard of it some 14, 15 years ago. I thought it was a get together, have wine and beer, and whatever spirits. So I was pleasantly surprised, however, when I really delved into it and found out what it was. And Missy asked, why did I join Toastmasters? I'll tell you why. I gave a speak. It was a networking group, and I had to give my 15-minute talk at the networking meeting. Afterwards, a gentleman came up and he said, you know something? I have a suggestion for you. You really could benefit from joining Toastmasters. Now, the thing is, it was kind of off the cuff in some respects, remark, but quite honestly, he did me a real favor, because I can tell you unequivocally, 14 years ago, I was scared to death speaking in front of people. I was a real introvert in so many respects, still am to a certain extent. However, that gave me the ability, by going to the meetings, to develop my self-confidence in the speaking area and to actually get up and speak in front of people, whether a group of 5, 10, or it could be some groups of 300 people that I spoke in front of on a national stage, or a group of students, and not feel any type of trepidation whatsoever. A little bit of actually butterflies when I first get up there on stage, but nevertheless, it has helped me tremendously. So I've been to Toastmasters now almost 14 years, I believe, a club called Rising Phoenix here in Atlanta. I also belong to another club called Polk Street Toastmasters, which meets, as Misty indicated, at 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday night. It's 8:30 or so in Australia. And we have a small group. We're trying to grow it, and would certainly appreciate each and every one of you to participate. It's fairly structured. Toastmasters has 330,000 people globally. So they try to structure things, try to scale things to the best of their ability. They've gone to a total online format in a lot of instances. However, they still have face-to-face meetings from throughout the world. One of the benefits of Toastmasters is you can actually attend meetings throughout the world and avail yourself of the 300,000+ people that belong to it. For instance, just by attending meetings in South Africa, I've become quite familiar with a woman by the name of Verity Price, and check her out. She is was the world champion of public speaking 2 years ago. Amazing individual who teaches people communication skills and whatever. Just a phenomenal story behind her, having been an actress and a singer out in Hollywood and Nashville and residing in South Africa. So phenomenal story. But you'll meet so many interesting people, develop so many relationships with people throughout the world, and develop your speaking skills as well as your leadership credentials. So with that, I will turn it back to Misty.
Okay. I don't know. Am I on mute? I can't work it out. Can
No,
you hear
you're
me?
perfect. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
perfect.
we can hear you.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. So any questions for Jeff? Actually, Joe, I'm going to get you to take over for the questions. I can't see the whole screen. So
Yep.
as hands go up, I'll let Joe take over. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for telling us all
Oh, you're
about that.
quite
I do have
welcome.
a
And
question.
I don't know of one in here. Kathy is certainly a Toastmaster, and I think Kathy will vouch for how great an organization it is.
It is
I do
great.
have one
Actually,
que-
yeah, I have been before, but I'm actually not a member, just to be
Oh, you're not?
transparent.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's okay. I love it though.
How much does it cost to join Toastmasters, Jeff?
It's a $20 admission to introductory fee, and then it's $60 every 6 months. But it's 1 hour a week. You don't have to attend every week unless you want to. But the $60 gives you the accessibility to their online system, their training programs, and the training programs they have are worth literally hundreds, if not thousands of dollars that they have at your fingertips that you can actually try to work and try to improve your skill sets and then be awarded with certain awards for the skill levels that you achieve.
Excellent. Thank you. All right, Joe, you can take over the rest of the questions.
Thank you. Sarah, do you have a question for Jeff, or is you still got your hand up? Because when he made us put our hands up for Toastmasters, it's just your hand, your automatic hands up. So I'm not sure if you've got a question or not. No?
She's on mute. too.
Sarah.
It's just a
Okay,
machine.
Sarah actually might have her hand up accidentally. We'll lower it.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So does anyone else have some questions for Jeff? It was a great talk though.
Like I said, I would highly recommend it for each and every one of you, just for a standpoint of improving your speaking skills, improving your leadership skills, connecting with others throughout the world. I mean, there are clubs everywhere and just phenomenal people, because everyone has a like mindset to everyone that's on this call here today, in that they're into self-improvement, into helping others and doing what they can to avail themselves of each and every opportunity that's out there. And so you
Yeah.
can't beat it from that perspective. So Fiona, or I guess you were first, and then Diane.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeff. How different, firstly, 2 questions. How different is the online group versus the in-person group? Is the structure still the same?
The structure's still the same. Quite honestly, I prefer the face-to-face, and I think a lot of people do. However, the virtual meetings work fine, and I think they fine-tune the actual aspects of the meeting and working them. They're generally run for about an hour or so, and as I mentioned, they're very well structured.
Awesome. And second question, how supportive and friendly is Toastmasters to new people who have no idea how to run presentations on the fly?
Oh, very
Yeah.
much so. As a matter of fact, we welcome, people that are just starting out, because of the fact that we can mentor them and teach them things that they should be doing or not doing. And you would not believe the improvement in a lot of individuals that are just starting out in Toastmasters from one week to another. We had this one young lady in our group, and she was scared to death of speaking. She improved tremendously over a 6-month period of time. Just absolutely incredible.
Brilliant. Thanks, Jeff.
Jeff, so
Yes, Diane.
what do you actually talk about?
Oh, okay. Generally, there are 2 or 3 speeches. They run from 5 to 7 minutes, or they could be longer. Some could be 8 to 10 minutes, and some could be 12 minutes. It depends upon the nature of the actual talk. And what I try to advocate is that people actually take their respective businesses and try to incorporate those into the talks that they do give, whether it's preparing for a presentation that they'll be giving to a local Kiwanis, a local network group, whatever it might be, or if they're actually working for a corporate job, is take something that they will have to be presenting in their corporate job and let us critique it to the best of their ability. Because the fact that once they go into a corporate job, or once you go into a meeting, you want to look like you're the best thing out there since sliced bread. And so it's best to actually have Toastmasters group critique the speech before you give it, give you some pointers on as to what you might do better with regard to the delivery and how you communicate with the audience that you be delivering it to.
Great, thank you.
Oh, the other aspect of it is, in addition to the speeches, there's a session where it's called table topics, where each individual in the group, or generally have 4 people that have the time to speak, is there'll be a topic that will be asked that they will have to speak extemporaneously about. So what it does, it prepares you, if you're going out for an interview, to actually speak on the fly without any prior coaching. And also, for instance, if you find yourself in a network situation and people ask you a question that's totally off the cuff, you can respond, because the fact that you're coached in how to respond, how to think about the problem, how to come up with a solution on the fly, and then deliver it. So it really enhances your ability. And anyone who's a job seeker, I can't say how much they will benefit by having that ability to be able to speak extemporaneously on any subject matter that someone might ask of them in a job interview, and really come out really seemingly quite polished. Yes, Joanne.
Jeff, I love Toastmasters, so I went years
Oh.
ago and would like to rejoin. How do you know what meetings are when and where, and do you need to let people know
It's
ahead
on
of time if you're going to join?
Toastmastersinternational.org has a website, and they list the clubs and the various times on that. If you have something in mind for a particular time frame, I'll be happy to assist you in finding that, Joanne. So
you can just join though. You just log.
you can just join, right? You find a club anywhere in the world, actually, and you can participate. Where you feel, for instance, in your particular case, Joanne, where you might be trying to market your products to families in the UK, the families in Spain, or the families in Turkey, or relevant. You can go around the world, literally, being a member. You go to these other clubs, and you can start marketing your services, not outright, but subliminally, by talking about them in a speech, because you can actually get on the docket to speak about your particular subject matter. But again, not too much of a salesy pitch, but
No.
just a subliminal type of approach. And you could couple that with your background, which I think people find absolutely fascinating with trading currencies and what have you, tying the two together with regard to what you're currently doing. So,
Thank you.
Jacqueline.
Yeah, that was one of my questions. How to access the information to find out when and where the groups are on? Is there
Right.
a particular link to go to?
Yes, I'll send the link out to the people that are in the call later today. So you actually have that link. But as I said, it's the most worthwhile investment you could ever make in your lives. So I can tell you that unequivocally. I still have my training wheels on. I learn something new each and every time I go. I am not up to TEDx quality, although Missy might have me there one day. But nevertheless, it still has been quite beneficial, and I continue to learn. But more importantly, if you look at TV commentators, or actually I do right now, and I can tell who has had training and who has not, because of the fact that you'll detect the ahs, ums, buts, what have you. I can tell you, one of the problems I had overcoming, and this is why I struggled for so many years, was I was in 5th grade. I had a teacher where we had to give a talk. And it was a dual 5th and 6th grade. I went up there and I gave my talk, and he said to me, "One more arm, and you're sitting down." And what he did is, I had one more arm. He sat me down in front of 24 students. I was embarrassed to the hilt. And that really set me back for years, quite honestly. Toastmasters helped me overcome that messaging that had been in my head for so many years due to that situation back in 5th grade. So it can help you overcome any adversities or traumas you've received with regard to speaking in the past that have stigmatized you. So it really can help almost anyone, quite honestly. If it helped me, then it certainly can help anyone. Okay. So, Jim, you had a question?
Do you is your tuition purely verbal speaking, or do you do incorporating visuals as part of
Oh,
your?
you incorporate visuals as well.
Mm.
So you can give PowerPoint presentations. Don't kill them with the PowerPoints. But certainly in your particular case with the cartoons and that, I think they would find it extremely interesting. And you would have a repertoire of different things to talk about in a Toastmasters group. And I think it would help expand your business in the UK, Jim, and throughout the Scotland and throughout the world.
I've done 2 or 3 talks where you do, the talk and talk, where I'm talking and I'm drawing cartoons of it. And I'm very interested. I'll come and give you a chat.
Right. Okay. Thank you. In the other club I belong to, Rising Phoenix, we meets at 10 o'clock on Saturday mornings, U.S. time, New York time. So that may be more beneficial to people in Europe. There's nothing to gain in it, quite honestly, but by asking people. It's a nonprofit organization. It's just, I think it's wonderful. And if you have any children or others that you know that could benefit to up their game, everything in life is so predicated upon communication skills. The better the communicator you are, the more successful you're going to be. So it's very, very important. And it's nice to see, such professionals, Dr. Chris on here, talking about what they've done in that particular area. But people don't realize the value in communication. It can represent tens of thousands, if not millions of dollars over a several-year period in your career or in your business itself. Because of the fact that if you can't communicate who you are and what you do to others, then how do you expect them to buy from you or recommend you to others? So it's critical. And we all struggle with it from one time to the other. I think Misty tries her best with regard to elevator pitches and that to bring out the best in people. But fine tuning it with someone like Chris or Toastmasters, some of the other tools that are out there can really benefit you handsomely. It's worth the investment.
You do discover where you're going wrong in talking. So I'm used to talking now. I can talk off the cuff, but that's years and years of networking and then hosting, and just I've seemed to have fallen into that space. But I've gone over to Jeff's Toastmasters quite a few times, and I have to say, I am socially retarded if you get me to talk about something that isn't work related. And I can put work into any topic, but to take that out, I'm really rubbish at speaking. So it's quite interesting for me to hear how much I throw work back into any topic that they give me. So yeah,
I'd just like to make a comment. And Misty knows quite well. Michael Barham, who regularly attends this meeting, he's getting ready to go see the solar eclipse, so he's getting his luggage and everything else together for that. But he is a gifted speaker. He's really good, quite honestly, and I learned a lot from him. His ability to speak, his delivery, as well as his ability to critique people and what they're actually doing. And I really benefit handsomely from people criticizing, or I should say, offering solutions or recommendations to the talks that I give. You would not believe how it helps you improve, because you see a lot of things that you do that are not aware of, and others point that out. And it's not mean the way that people actually judge you. Although over the 13, 14 years in Toastmasters, I think I found one individual who was somewhat mean. That individual nevertheless didn't last very long in Toastmasters. They were booted out by the actions of everyone else in the club, saying this person isn't for us. So it's just a really supportive environment.
It's
Chris,
a bit like business direction. Jeff, it's a bit
Right,
like business.
absolutely.
The not
absolutely.
nice ones tend to go somewhere else. And we don't even ask. They just go, oh, I don't know how to deal with all the nice people. They're a bit confusing to me, so they wander off somewhere else.
Absolutely. But some of
Dr. Chris,
the
you've
people
got a
in the
Chris?
group are just phenomenal. So, Chris, go ahead.
Thanks very much, Jeff. Thanks for the presentation. It's great. You're absolutely right. And there's a quote I use a lot. There was research about leadership, and the skill considered most critical to leadership was communication. At the same time, it's the skill in need of greatest improvement in the majority of businesses. So we all want to be better communicators, but we have to be. But it's so often that we as a species are not that good at communicating. So you're absolutely right. So thanks very much again. It was great.
You're quite welcome. Joanne?
I just had 2 quick points. I'm the same as you, Misty. I found that I was used to years ago lecturing in economics, but when it came to talking about personal stuff, I was completely felt I was at ground level again. But the flip side of that was it was a really interesting way to get to know people, because when they talk about themselves. So you had an opportunity to hear a lot more about people than you'd probably would in any other type of situation. And this other thing that I've found was really good for was teaching you how to evaluate others, because that was also one of the activities that we did, learning how to do that in a way that was constructive. Yeah.
Yeah, in closing, thank you, Joanna. I greatly appreciate that, and certainly look forward to hearing some of your talks and presentations. So you're a very talented individual and a very unique specialty in what you're doing now versus actually in what you did previously with the currency trading. But one, I just ask each and every one of you, do yourself a favor and follow Verity Price. She's out there on LinkedIn and what have you. She's an amazing woman. She has a great deal of energy. She puts out daily postings on LinkedIn and the other social media channels. But you really do yourself a favor, because for someone to be the world champion of 320,000 people sold, or whatever it is, in Toastmasters now, it's just absolutely phenomenal, because the competition is so keen. The people, the talent that's in Toastmasters is so incredibly over the top. And a lot of people use Toastmasters, professional speakers, to refine their craft, because they can try that out. I know of at least half a dozen that belong to a club here in Atlanta called the President's Toastmasters Club. Half a dozen of those people, they're making tens of thousands of dollars at times when they do speak, which is very unusual in this day and age, but they use Toastmasters to refine their art. So thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much for being our speaker today and being able to jump in and fill the space. I was hoping, one, that you would be here and that who I'd originally had wouldn't. So that worked out just beautifully. And thank you, audience, for participating and being part of asking questions and being part of the conversation as well. Joe, I'm going to let you take it over. Just let me stop record.